As far as my children go, I feel that this school district is pretty much failing them. I hate to say it, but they're failing them.
Erika Foots is a single mother raising 5 children, including her niece and nephew, in San Francisco. Her eldest son is in private school, but her other 4 aren't. They're part of the San Francisco Unified School District, and they haven't stepped foot in a classroom since March.
I'm in school myself full time, and then they're in school. Being cooped up in the house is very stressful. Sometimes I go out in my backyard and I scream just to get it out.
There are approximately 52,000 students in San Francisco's public school system. More than 10 months into the pandemic, the city's schools remain closed. Meanwhile, New York City has brought back 190,000 children to its classrooms.
So the safest place to be in New York City, of course, is our public schools.
Providence, Rhode Island has brought back 16,000, and nearby Marin County is serving around 17,000 students for in-person learning.
The data gathered here has helped guide the state to reopen schools in California.
By now, data has shown that reopening schools, especially for elementary-age students, can be done safely. Studies also suggest that students learning remotely are falling behind and that the losses are more severe among non-white students. San Francisco is one of the most progressive cities in the country, with equity at the core of its public school mission. But from Erika's perspective, the school board can't see the forest for the trees.
Some of my issues with the school district right now is like how they're trying to rename schools. Like that was one of the things I was saying, like, why are you guys trying to rename schools and we have children who are failing or who are not, adjusting correctly with the pandemic? Why aren't we talking about those things?
Since January, 4 of Erika's children have been attending a learning hub, one of 78 operated by the city, serving around 2,000 kids. The hubs, run by the Department of Children, Youth, and their families, were launched in September to help San Francisco's most at-need children, like those who are homeless, in foster care, or living in public housing, by providing a structured environment for remote learning. 96% of those enrolled are students of color. The hubs are not affiliated with the SFUSD.
A day in our hubs would look like kids come in, they're greeted, they have their health and temperature checks, but during the day, they get support to log into their Zooms, they get reminded to take breaks, they get to participate in all these other enrichment activities, they get to eat their healthy meals, and they get to be with their peers and caring adults.
As of January, there have been no COVID-19 outbreaks in the hubs. San Francisco's mayor, London Breed, has said the program should serve as a model for school reopening, but the mayor has no actual control over the school board.
We haven't had any outbreaks at these hubs or at the private schools that have already opened for in-person learning. I believe we can and we must open in-person learning in a safe way as soon as possible.
San Francisco's schools were supposed to bring back a few hundred preschoolers and students with moderate to severe learning disabilities on January 25th, 2021. But according to the SFUSD, that plan was blocked because the district couldn't reach consensus with SFUSD labor unions. The unions are looking for safety measures that exceed those laid out by San Francisco's Department of Public Health. The same safety protocols currently being followed by San Francisco's private schools and community hubs.
And that's really because we want high standards for our students and for us. We don't want just minimum standards because of, concern that there can be cases of COVID with minimum standards.
The SFUSD has a school reopening dashboard that details its progress. As of January 26th, it says school facilities are about 40% prepared for social distancing and hygiene. Labor agreements are marked as a work in progress, and haven't moved at all from 33% complete since October 25th.
We've never spent this much time on bargaining as we are right now, and that's the right thing to be doing. Many of the educators who belong to UESF are parents themselves. It's just a terrible situation, and we have to protect physical health.
Meanwhile, the San Francisco Board of Education, which meets bi-weekly on Tuesdays for 7 or 8 hour marathon sessions, has had entire meetings where reopening hasn't been on the agenda. And parents have called into public comment frustrated and confused about why reopening isn't a top priority.
Open schools now! Open schools now!
Why is that? Why isn't that agenda item 1?
In December, more than 60 of San Francisco's pediatricians wrote a letter calling on schools in the city to reopen, saying distance learning is resulting in a mental health crisis for children. In Las Vegas, schools pushed to reopen after seeing an alarming uptick in youth suicides. On January 26th, the Board of Education gave an update on its school reopening process. The earliest any child will return is March 25th. It's unlikely middle or high schoolers will see the inside of a classroom until the fall. And while Erika is still holding out hope for her kids,
let's start opening these schools, start off with these small groups, and then move forward.
Many students, especially those in high school, just want the truth.
Yeah, we really waited this whole meeting to hear this plan. I'm gonna lift what Zoe said, cut the crap and tell us we're not going back. And if we're not going back as a senior, at least let me have a drive-by graduation or something.
One thing's for sure, time is ticking for parents, students, unions, and the SFUSD. And tens of thousands of families are looking for answers.